At the same time, we wanted to bring you quite a remarkable interview with the mother of a woman. Her daughter died on that 2019 Boeing 737 MAX crash. This is in the context of the Boeing CEO, John Calhoun, was just called to the carpet in Congress testifying there. Obviously, Boeing in a heap of trouble of their own making for faulty designs and shoddy product and cutting corners at every turn with deadly and disastrous results. Did not go well for Calhoun in that hearing, both parties really coming at him. Let's take a listen to CNN's setup here where you get a little taste of that testimony.
David Calhoun, he struggled to answer questions during a Senate hearing, and he started off by apologizing to families of victims who were seated behind him in the room. They were holding up signs and pictures of their loved ones in those crashes.
I would like to apologize on behalf of all of our Boeing associates spread throughout the world, past and present, for your losses. They're gut-wrenching. And I apologize for the grief that we have caused. And I want you to know we are totally committed in their memory to work and focus on safety for as long as we're employed by Boeing. So again, I'm sorry.
So I said John Calhoun is David Calhoun.
Yes.
Anyway, you can see there his apology, I'm sure very heartfelt apology to the family members of victims of his company's faulty, disastrous products. I don't think that they took that very well. And in fact, as I said before, this mom who lost her daughter on one of these plane crashes, Nadia Milleran, she went on CNN and she gave it to him in no uncertain terms, in an incredibly detailed way, even throws in there, you know, hey, you're gonna apologize for all the bombs you built that were dropped on innocent kids in Gaza. Let's take a listen to how that went.
Nadia, I want to first say I'm so sorry for the loss of your daughter, and I know that that loss is still fresh in your mind. You were there, you heard firsthand what Calhoun had to say. What did you think of that apology?
It wasn't a real apology. So what he was doing is he doesn't want us to know the details of it, how it happened. So every time your loved one dies, especially in a crime, you deserve to know and you need to know, how did it happen? So it happened through production defects, not just through faulty design. So the AOA sensor on the outside of the plane had a faulty electrical component, which caused the AOA sensor not to feed the right information into MCAS, which caused the plane to dive into the ground. So he doesn't want people to know that. He doesn't want people to know that they cut corners on production, they cut out inspectors, and as a result, there are all these problems in these planes. So the planes that were produced then, the planes that are being produced now, they all have production defects, and these are showing up in real problems that pilots are facing.
Do you think that he and others at Boeing should be criminally prosecuted?
Absolutely. He lies constantly. He was lying in the hearing today. So he said that he didn't know what happened to the supervisors who were harassing whistleblowers. So for example, John Barnett's family was all there. John Barnett supposedly committed suicide, but I definitely have a question about that. He supposedly committed suicide after 7 years of harassment by Boeing and the supervisors around his whistleblowing. It was a constant, horrible situation for that person trying to call attention to production problems and defects. And that those supervisors are all fine. They all stayed in Boeing. Some of them were promoted. He looked at me in the eye and he said, "I am sorry." And I said, "You are sorry? Are you sorry for the bombs Boeing produced that kill innocent kids in Rafah? Are you sorry for that too?" Like, how can he sleep? This person is a psychopath. We cannot have people running these companies that do not care about human life. We have to have responsible people running these companies.
God bless that woman, man. She let loose. I'm sure CNN after that, they were like, okay. Cut.
Yeah, Abby Phillips was like, oh, we didn't. They're like, we got to cut out of this.
Anyway.
Running out of time.
Yeah, it was
we got
all
Brian
fine and
Stelter on
good
standby.
when you were talking about your daughter. Now we're talking about Gaza. We got to move on. But, you know, to hear that on CNN, I think it is a remarkable moment. I mean, to hear her call him a psychopath.
Yeah.
To say out and out, you're a liar, and yeah, you should be criminally prosecuted. And by the way, this isn't just about my daughter, it's about your immorality for building the bombs that get dropped on innocent kids in Rafah. She's 100% correct in everything she said as well, because I thought the example she gave of the man who allegedly killed himself, which she says she has some questions about. I think we all have some questions about, but she says, hey, these supervisors who, if you believe he killed himself, bullied him basically into killing himself, like harassed him over years and years and years. You're pretending in your testimony, oh, you don't know what happened to these supervisors. I'm sure that some of them have been punished. No, they're fine. They're still alive and well and doing perfectly fine at your company. And meanwhile, he's dead. So tell me what's going on there.
There's also
tell me about your culture there.
Happening right now. I'll have them add this in post, but Boeing actually, I'm not sure if you're aware, transported its very first astronauts to space. The problem is now they have to get them back. And there's actually problems with the spacecraft that are right now.
Christ.
So, I mean, I'm reading directly and I've been following this now. There have been major, quote, helium leaks and thruster problems, which have caused issues on the Boeing Starliner vehicle, which was supposed to compete with SpaceX. It was a major moment for the company. Starliner just launched. They carry 2 astronauts. Officials, though, from Boeing now say that the astronauts are supposed to return on June 26th, but that there are now a major postponement that has had to happen. The astronauts will spend about 20 days now in space, more than double the 8 days that they had originally planned. Quote, Starliner is pinned down by a series of helium leaks in the propulsion systems and now problems with several thrusters that are used to maneuver the vehicle. NASA apparently had been studying those issues before they permitted Starliner to attempt to leave the International Space Station with those 2 astronauts and return them to Earth. But obviously, this is terrifying because this is the Boeing flagship space vehicle. It was supposed to be the SpaceX competitor to carry them. It's a major US military industrial supplier. You know, obviously they get preferential contracts and all of this. And we're looking here at an aircraft that's, cost hundreds of billions of dollars, all this taxpayer money, et cetera. And now 2 of our astronauts are literally stranded in space and can't return. And this is totally about, I know the media is totally asleep on this one.
That's incredible.
I don't know why they're ignoring it. I've been following it now for a couple of days. In the space community, people are going wild over this. They're like, this is a really bad issue because this was already, they were under contract to do 6 more flights right now to the International Space Station after this vehicle gets certified. But this is the very first flight of it actually carrying astronauts, and it's already into a problem.
When you have a culture enabled and encouraged throughout your company of profits first, safety last, cutting corners, time is everything, don't slow down if you need to, get a new part made because that one's faulty, just put the faulty part in. That's what the type of thing that many whistleblowers at this point have testified to. You can't, even if they wanted to do this one right, your culture is set. That is the environment that you've created. And so, listen, personally, I'm afraid to get on a Boeing airplane. I can't imagine trusting my life on a freaking Boeing space shuttle. Are you kidding me? And then, I'm about to talk about this, peer debacle and how we can't, it's just a mess on every level. It's only been operable for literally 10 days since it went into effect. Boeing is a critical part of our defense industrial base. And we're trusting a lot to these people and we are giving them an unbelievable amount of taxpayer dollars. So it's just a disaster on every single level. It speaks to the culture and the enabling of an economy that's based around financialization, where all of the motives are around that dude, David Calhoun, to get hit, to juice his stocks, because that's what his compensation was, some $40 million plus a year, by the way, which has gone up over the past couple of years, which is also mind-blowing. And he wouldn't answer a straight question when Josh Hawley was asking about that.
Yes, that's right.
In the testimony, he wouldn't say how much he actually earns. But all the incentives around juicing that man's compensation, safety, public interest, anything else be damned. Even the long-term interest of the company be damned, because he's not going to be there. He's actually leaving, and I'm sure he's got a nice, tidy, package as he heads out the door. Basically being scapegoated for, he deserves it. Don't get me wrong, but the problem is a lot bigger than just the CEO. It's an entire company-wide, board-wide issue at Boeing that they haven't even come close to scratching the surface of dealing with.
Exactly right. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.